You are live.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How is everybody doing?
Another Sunday, babe.
Another Sunday. So,
another Sunday.
Sorry we missed you all last week. We have 10 people in the house
10
already.
people?
10 people. Who have we got?
Hello, everybody.
So we have Nigel first
Nigel.
in. Thank you, Nigel.
Yes.
Very, very timely that was, wasn't it?
Timely?
Yeah. What's the word when you're actually punctual? Very punctual.
Very timely, Nigel.
We have the Aventus Supreme Nige. So John's in the house.
John.
John. We have Heather.
Heather.
We have Scott.
Mm-hmm.
We have David G. We have Galan Man again. Thanks for coming back.
Galan Man.
He was in last night. We have Paul. We have Marcus in the house. Hi, Marcus. Hello.
Hello.
Clements is in the house. Hi, Clements.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. And we have Brandon in already.
Brandon.
So thank you for all joining our live. I'm sure more will be along soon.
Mm-hmm.
We have got a few things. We've got a lovely guest lined up. Say no more, because I always give it away, whether it's male or female.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty.
Yeah. So I'll just say, lovely guest lined up.
Lovely guest.
Lovely guest. Cannot
Mystery
wait.
guest.
Cannot wait.
No.
So I just wanted to touch on Nigel's live on
Yes, Nigel.
Friday night.
I still feel a little bit victimised, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I still feel battered and bruised and just mentally I think I need to go to the Priory, babe.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
Nigel's paying.
Nice. Nigel's fault then.
Oh dear, funny. Anyway, when Matt arrives, we're going to talk about, where are my royalties and all this.
Yeah, we needed to talk about it. Matt's had to order in a few gallons of
Gallons?
as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need some payment. I need some form of payment here because I'm sending a lot of business this way.
You are indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of oh no, it's not past watershed yet, so we won't say that word.
No, we can't. Thank you for tour. That's very kind of you. We're both looking really well.
Thank you.
Are you flirting?
I'm looking very brown. I'm looking like I've been 2 weeks in somewhere really hot. Can't think of anywhere.
Not here, basically. No, it's been quite hot here. Caught a bit of sun.
Garden. Yeah. No, it's been hot and it's been lovely, isn't it?
Costa del Garden.
Costa del Garden, yes.
Costa del Garden.
Yes, indeed.
Well, should we do what have we got in this week?
Yeah, we can do.
Should we do that first? Should we get that out of the way?
Yeah, well, I didn't bring mine down. Did you bring yours down?
Yours are all in the bag, babe.
Oh,
all prepared.
It's fine.
All ready.
It's fine.
So we have got in quite a bit.
Can I just say, every time I smile, my teeth, it's like Ross from Friends. Has anybody seen that episode where Ross gets his teeth whitened? And every time he smiles, it's like, ugh, blinding.
we have Steve in the house. We have Jon Snow.
Jon Snow has arrived.
Yeah, so thanks everyone again for joining us. The numbers are slightly creeping up. I cannot wait for our guest. The guest is live at 4 o'clock.
Yes.
So I can't wait for that. Our dog's decided he's going to really start to play up.
Oh, it's just a bit of a knob in here.
I have to shout at him at a minute because he's driving us mad. He keeps barking at the neighbours.
Can we just where are these pineapples coming from? I mean, every time someone posts a pineapple, I get £1. So the tour's just owed me £2. Nigel, has Nigel posted any pineapples?
No, I've been over pineapples yet.
No, okay. If it's all you, over £2. There we go. Can I just put that out there? Oh dear.
Do you want to start reaching what we got in? Because we got quite a. There we go. Clements owes you a few quid as well now.
Oh, Clements owes me 1, 2, 3, 4. Well,
can you count that high?
You're just such a dick.
We got in loads. We're not showing off.
Got in loads.
Yeah, I got in loads. We're not showing off. I haven't bought anything for quite some time. I've been getting loads of lovely gifts from people in terms of samples and stuff, but I haven't spent loads of money on fragrances recently. So I had a little splash out very recently.
Bargains.
So I've got some bargains on. I'm really pleased with my bargains. So Becca got some samples in. We'll run through quickly what we got because otherwise we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
Loads.
Yeah,
So we'll run through very quickly and then we'll move on to Barry's beef. Yeah?
Yeah, I think I have got Barry's beef.
Okay.
I haven't really pre-planned my beef today, but I have got a boner, but it's going to have to change the name because it's really inappropriate. So we'll touch on that. I'm going to have to think of, well, you guys think of another name that is a little bit more PG than bonus, because I can't use Becca's bonus for my boner this week. It's just really inappropriate.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, do you want to start passing over what we got in and we'll quickly hold them up and move them around?
Well, what would you like?
Anything, just grab them.
Oh, look. What do we have here? A pineapple.
It's not a pound dry yourself.
I almost have a pound.
So we got a few, if you haven't seen my fragrance haul video yet, I got a load of not decants, but partials, very small partials.
Mainly so I've got images to take, really.
Yeah, Becca, obviously, it's for her photography as well as me, so I get another excuse to buy fragrances. Yes. So I've got Pineapple X-Batch Intense, which is, I believe, their take on Sauvage and Pineapple and Aventa, sorry. So very similar to Pineapple Sauvage, but I would say that Pineapple Sauvage has got a brighter pineapple opening. This is more Sauvage like.
That's like if you think of day pineapples and night pineapples. That's a night pineapple.
Good fragrance. I like it.
There you go. And what else have you got? That one?
Yeah, we got Pure Malt, and that is virtually full. Let's move on.
Oh, okay. We're doing these quite quickly.
Yeah, we are. We've got D&G the One EDP, just a partial, about 30 ml in there. That's a 100 ml bottle, so it's about 30 ml in there.
Okay.
We've got virtually a full bottle of Versace Man Eau Fraiche, Eau Fraiche. Clement, so I'm sorry I'm ruining French. We've got Terre de Hems, the EDP, Eau de Parfum, and there's probably about 10, maybe a little bit less than 10 ml in there.
I don't know what that is.
1 million Absolutely Gold,
That
which is a discontinued fragrance. We have Pure Tonka. Now, there is something I'm going to ask the public. I said public yesterday and everyone ripped me.
Why?
Because I said public.
Why?
Instead of like the chat group.
Oh,
the public,
okay.
The general public, I said.
Oh, it's his ego again, isn't he? He just thinks every single person in the whole public knows him and loves him.
No, I don't.
It's not, you're not wearing your top.
No, I'm not wearing my top. That's maybe another time.
Oh, okay.
I want to show off my new shirt, babe.
Show off your new shirt, yeah.
Right, Pure Tonka. Could anybody tell me, is this meant to smell like coffee? Because I thought Pure Havana was meant to be very coffee-like. I didn't realise that Pure Tonka was. So is Pure Tonka meant to be...
Babe, I don't even know what Tonka
like
is.
coffee.
What is
Tonka
Tonka? What's a Tonka bean?
So
do you use it in chocolate? Or is that cocoa bean? That's
cocoa bean. So
what's a Tonka bean?
A Tonka bean is just another bean, type of bean, like a coffee bean, effectively.
Lizzie loves beans.
She does.
I just wanted to say bean. Bean! Bean beans.
Keep passing, keep passing.
Sorry. Oh,
we'll never get through it.
That's a small one.
We have Catch My Whiff in. Hi.
Catch My Whiff in?
Yeah, Catch My Whiff.
That
Russell's in. Hello, Russell.
So.
Who else do we have? I think that's it. My adoring fans, someone's put Paul.
Oh look, Tonka bean, Clement. Tonka bean is very close to vanilla. I think he's mugged you off because that don't smell like
no,
vanilla.
it does. It has got vanilla in it, but it smells like coffee.
Just
smells
like
very
vanilla coffee.
It smells like a vanilla latte. Couldn't even get the words out there. Gucci Guilty, just a little sample. That was from Claire.
That one.
I've got in. Right, yeah, these ones. These
are
new.
Hang on.
New.
So I sent Tony to go and get the food shop.
Yep.
Just the food shop.
Oh, I got the food shop.
And then out creeped these from his bag.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't creep. I showed you. Are you ready?
Oh, they're gonna fall.
Now you might not be very excited by these, but I'm going to do a little video. These are new.
Oh, look at that special effects.
100 ml. I'm going to drop them in a minute. 100 ml bottles. I think they were $5.99, and they are limited edition ones from Aldi.
There we go. We love Aldi.
I've got quite a few Aldi fragrances that I got in my early days when I was a real cheapo. I'm even cheaper now because I've just bought 3 of them.
You basic.
But look at that one. Oh, there we go. What is that meant to be a clone of? Let me just open the bottle and I'll show you the bottle. Show the colouring, and you can see what the name is and what you think it's going to be a clone of.
To be fair,
and it's actually really nice. I've got it on my hand still, and it does actually smell really good.
It does smell really nice. To be fair,
I've told you this, my most complimented scent was from, got an earthquake, was from Lidl. Okay, well.
And it lasted all day. I can't remember what it was. It's in a gold bottle.
There we go.
There you go.
We have Maya in the house. Hi Maya, thanks for joining.
Hi Maya. So, what else have we got in this bag? Oh,
got 21 people in the room now, babe.
Oh my goodness, what?
Right, let me just do those quickly. I've shown people what they are. We won't do them all.
He's actually put them in my bag of protein bars.
We have, this is unbelievable. This is probably one of my favourite pickups. It's from the Body Shop. It's called Kahia, and it is gorgeous. It reminds me a little bit, and you said it, you backed me up on that, reminds me a little bit of the Chronic.
A little bit, yeah.
£20 for an eau de parfum, and it's a 50 ml.
£20.
Won't show that. And from
here we go.
Lush, I got American Cream, and that is some sweetie goodness. Lovely.
Sweetie goodness. There we go.
There we go. Do you want to show anything? We won't do perfume parlour stuff today.
No, we've got loads of perfume parlour stuff.
Becca's anniversary present.
Yes.
So Princess by Killian.
It's very marshmallowy.
It is very marshmallowy.
So John said that was like the Estee Lauder one. So technically he's burst my bubble of like this whole niche thing. So, you know, John, you just to put it out there, you just pop my bubble, you know, basically. But yeah, no, that's what we've got in this one, haven't we? So quite a lot. Well, you got quite a lot.
Yeah, I've got loads.
Yeah,
so I've got loads to keep me going. I've got loads to do my reviews. I've still got so many samples as well that people have sent me. I'm just showing off.
Paul Evans, Tony's t-shirt with the gold braiding around the collar style.
Thanks.
God, please, can we just stop pampering his ego? Like, literally. David Beckham. Can we let's just go back to like Ryland Clark.
No, Ryland Clark has let himself go. Fuck me, Ryland Clark has let himself go.
Oh yeah, that was it.
That's what was said.
You've lost your veneers. You've lost.
I do need veneers. That's the last thing.
So, shall we go to what is your Barry's beef of the week, Tony?
I've got nothing really serious this week. My Barry's beef of the week is the queue in Starbucks.
Oh, you stole mine.
You can see it written down. I didn't steal it. I wrote it down.
Oh man.
That is my beef of the week. Nothing serious this week. I've been quite happy. I've been quite a happy guy this week, haven't I?
Do you know what my beef was?
What?
My beef was people dawdling.
People dawdling?
Maybe because...
like supermarkets?
No, just in life. Just dawdling.
Yeah.
Like, we went... we just nipped out briefly yesterday, didn't we? Just to grab a few bits.
For about 3 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah. I know. We lost track of time. Phoebe was being looked after and we've just thought, do you know what? We haven't been child-free for weeks.
No, we haven't.
So time just crept away. But people dawdling. So we went to Starbucks, much to John's
disgust,
because he is a Costa person. Yeah. But we went to Starbucks because it was literally just across the road. So convenient, drive-through, sorted. Well, they were the slowest people. We must have been sat in that queue for about 15-20 minutes.
Longer, probably about half an hour.
Honestly, people's dawdling. I think because we have to rush around like 99% of our time is rushing, either with the kids, with appointments, with work. Work is a very fast-paced environment. So when it comes to dawdling, it gets right on my nerves. So yeah, just people just... Oh, what would you like? You're like, oh my goodness, just put a rocket up your bum.
Yeah.
Let's go. Maybe we're the ones that need to chill out.
I think we are. I think I'm going to have to get my dog in the man barking at the neighbours. He's going to drive him mental. He's driving me mental.
I'm sorry, my teeth are just hilarious. Look.
All right, Ryland.
Literally, oh my
Right,
goodness,
right.
I didn't realise how brown I was, but hey, anyway. So, Becca's, what should we call it? Becca's,
Boner.
no, Becca's best bits of the week. There we go, that's more PG.
Just while you tell your best bit, I'm going to go and get the dog in the
Are you going to
conservatory.
like call the RSPCA, take him away?
Not that mean. I'm going to go and shut that back door now. In case it's raining now.
Okay, so Becca's best bits of the week. So, anybody seen Chris's video?
This is the troublemaker. Here he is.
He really needs a haircut, by the way. He literally needs a haircut. He looks like some homeless dog right now, bless him. But that's another story. But anyway, yes. Has anybody seen Chris's video with his two little girls? Well, my Becca's Bangers, there we go. Becca's Bangers is Chris's video because it literally made my week. His two daughters are just life. They cracked me up. His youngest, her facial expressions. Oh, she's just adorable. They both are, but his video was probably my favourite video. Favourite video that he's ever done with his two little girls.
Is it your favourite fragrance video?
Well, I must admit, I don't really watch that many fragrance videos.
You don't even watch mine, babe, do you?
No, I didn't watch his yesterday. I'm so sorry.
She wasn't even in the live. Well, she was for about a minute, and then she probably fell asleep.
No, I didn't fall asleep. But
You just didn't
anyway,
watch it. You were just watching Kardashians or something instead, weren't
you
you?
was watching some shit. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, Becca's banger of the week is Chris's video, and his two adorable little girls. I was in hysterics. His little girls' facial expressions are life, aren't they?
What is it? Mango.
And the way she's just sniffing like,
She's like,
I love it. If I could bottle her up and just bring her out, just to you know, brighten the mood.
yeah.
Let's just bottle up all their light and loveliness.
I've got a couple of Becca's best bits. I like your best bits.
Shut up. It's PG, babe. It's 3:45 in the afternoon. Nobody needs to know about my best bits.
Try and chat you up, babe.
Well,
Right, so my best bits this week are, I had, again, similar to you, look what I wrote down.
you're trying to copy me. You're trying to be me, babe.
No. So Chris's video again, brilliant, loved it. Made us both giggle all the way through,
Sorry, I've got itchy eye. Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah, I did.
We both giggled all the way through.
I think
Belly
it
giggle.
just brings something completely different to the fragrance world, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It made me feel really bad, didn't it?
Oh. Yeah, because you used to tell Phoebe off for being too
No,
silly.
I didn't tell her off. I'd be like, stop being like too stupid. Stop acting up, because otherwise, like, I can't do the video. So I felt really mean. I need to just go with it, don't I?
You need to just stop being so stuck up.
Maybe let her leave me. She'll do a better job anyway.
She's such a character as Phoebe, isn't she?
She is. She'll be in the live later. She's going to come and say hello to Chris and ask Chris a couple of questions.
Chris? Well, nobody knows it was Chris, you dickhead. Oh my!
Carry on, move on. No one heard anything.
Did you just hear? He's just giving it away.
No.
You're such a knob.
No one heard anything. No one heard anything.
Oh,
No one heard anything.
honestly. What do you look? Just go and sit on the noise deck. Go and have time out.
No.
What an absolute letdown.
No, just carry on, move on. Right. I'm not embarrassed or going red at all.
Just go red. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
And he calls himself a professional. Lies.
Oh dear. 1 second.
Honestly, look, he's shaking his head. Honestly, what a letdown.
I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. In the background there, we have the guests sitting waiting as well. Very, very punctual, because I think the person knows how panicked I get. So very professionally watching the background. We'll get the person in very soon.
The person, you might as well just say his name.
What's the letdown? No, we'll get in soon. I want to finish my Becca's best bits of the week.
Okay.
Was my shopping trip. I did a shopping trip with Phoebe
Oh, okay.
on Friday morning, and she was a little angel.
She loves shopping.
She was literally an angel. We went for about 3 hours to the shops. She held my hand. She kept her distance from people. She had done her hand sanitizer in every shop. She didn't touch anything. She asked if she could touch anything. She was polite. She was lovely to people. She moved out the way for people.
She's
and she didn't ask. She didn't ask for anything. I wanted to buy her some stuff.
Do you know what? Do you know what I love? She's hilarious. So when we go into a shop, maybe it's because she is literally like a mini me. I take her everywhere with me. She is like my best friend. So I think she's picked this up from me. So when we go into like the kids section, she'll pick a top up and go, what could I pair this with? And she picks something else up. She puts it on. And she goes, Mum, what do you think? Does this look good?
She's
adorable.
She gets it after you. And then the other bit was actually our parent time alone yesterday. It was just lovely. Yeah. We sat in a queue and I was thinking to myself, oh, I love queues. You know when we were queuing to get home?
We love our children. We love them very much, but oh my God.
Yeah.
Anybody else, just give us some time. Of course.
Lockdown has been like...
Do you know what Phoebe's resorted to? When I go to the toilet, she's learned to get a penny and she unlocks the toilet door. And she's like, hi, Nan. I'm like, what are you doing? Go away.
So, yeah, that was our time on our own. Was,
oh, look, Chris can't stop for long. He's going rollerblading, though.
Oh, okay. Just want to say, like, thanks for joining us, Chris. Are you going to have your AirPod in when you rollerblading?
Oh, my goodness.
Rollerblading? How random. Do you actually rollerblade? That's awesome.
I don't think I could rollerblade.
No, you couldn't.
I used to when I was a kid because I was super cool, listening to Atomic Kitten like John and like doing some rollerblade dance moves or something, you know.
Brilliant. Can I just ask, I mean, we've been in the live for nearly half an hour now, but is the sound okay?
Well, no, well, yeah, but...
It's like, we haven't asked. Does the sound okay?
I've got another bit to put in my Becca's bonus. This is actually a boner because it doesn't include any, like, PG stuff. But anyway, Becca's boner of the week was Tony's last live, which I did actually, I could be bothered to watch. When he was doing his impression of Chris with his wife, and it stopped. And we were all taking the mick out of him because we could hear him talk. Well, I could hear him talk downstairs. And everybody's like, I think you should go and tell him. No.
No, exactly. You were mean.
Just leave him.
You were mean.
Literally made me die. I was in hysterics because I could hear him go, hello? Hello? And we're all just sat there going, yeah, he's frozen.
I think I was talking for about 10 minutes. I was doing a wonderful impression of Chris. So this is you. We're both sitting there watching TV.
This is me, yeah.
Right? Chris is here with like said phone. He's like here with his phone looking down like this. But he's like this with his wife. And he's got these, I'm trying to do a minute, I've got to do this for effect. Oh no, I better not.
No, don't.
And I had AirPod in this ear away from his wife and he's just like, yeah, it's a good film. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good film, love. Yeah. Yeah, that was my impression. I was doing that impression and it was wasted, completely wasted.
We didn't see it because his video froze, which literally made my evening. I did feel a little bit mean, but at the same time I didn't.
Oh dear. Right, shall we put people out of their misery? Shall we
I don't think they're in misery though, they know who he is.
Oh,
here we go.
Are we ready to join? Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, good.
Oh my God, who could it be?
Excellent. So we'll bring the person in now and we'll say hello.
Just say Chris. We'll bring Chris in.
Oh, who is it?
Oh my goodness, where has he gone?
Where's he gone?
Who could it be, everybody?
Oh, is it me?
Oh my goodness.
Hey guys.
How are you? One second, we've got no sound.
Why can't we hear
Never
you?
get used to these reverse cameras.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
One moment.
Oh no.
We can't hear
check my
Chris.
mic.
Hold on.
My mic. Can you hear me?
There we go.
I can
hear
hear you. Okay.
Speakers on my phone. 1 second, Chris. Apologies.
Right.
Good job I brought you in earlier.
Have you turned it on? Silent?
Guys in the
No, it's
everyone
not,
in the
not
chat,
silent.
can you hear okay?
Oh.
Can you hear
And
me?
the sound's up.
Technical here.
Sounds
obviously.
up. Sounds up. Sounds
There's
up.
always a
so I don't know
technical
what to
hit.
press.
Um,
And I don't want the delay. So bear
No.
with me, Chris. Sorry, mate.
We
so
just
we
need
have
the
to
people in the
have an
chat
ending?
to let us know.
No, we don't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so everyone
Don't think
in
so.
the chat
One
can hear.
second.
Yeah.
Just 1 second, Chris. We'll just try and move to.
It's Chris. Yeah, they had someone lined up, and about 10 minutes ago they let them down. So Tony quickly asked me if I would come in and fill in. So here we go. I'm the substitute.
Why can't my phone hear? This is annoying. No, it was absolutely fine yesterday.
Sounds okay.
Apologies.
So if they can hear me, sounds okay. My end.
My sound is up. I'm going to turn it from silent to on. And silent mode
I'm
off.
not muted. I'm not muted in the
No
studio or
sound
anything,
still.
am I?
Bear with, bear with, bear with. I'm very sorry, people. This is very unprofessional. This worked yesterday, and I haven't changed any settings. This happens to me every
John,
week, as you all know.
I'd get the guitar out, but
I know you can.
I don't know what I play.
You can hear Chris, but we can't. So we need to get this working.
And we're not that good.
If you guys can all hear me, let's fill in for a little bit while the technophobes get
It's my
themselves sorted
speakers on
out.
my phone not working. I don't want to
Okay.
come off StreamYard because of what happened last time. So 1 second.
Yeah, no
What can we
problem.
do?
Yeah. Everyone doing okay then? What's how's everyone's weekend going?
Right, so what do we do?
Chris, we'll let you go to the comments, mate. Apologies.
Yeah, I'll go to the comments. So who have we got in the room? We've got Brandon. Brandon, you know what, Brandon?
So what
You are everywhere, mate. I love it. That displays true passion. You're in a lot of the lives. People like you keep the Fragcom going because you're the glue. You guys are the glue that binds everyone together. And Nigel is the same. Jon Snow, yeah. Rosa and Jones, all the regulars here. Paul never fails to leave me a really positive comment on my videos. So thank you, Paul, and John as well. Who else we've got? Galan Man, Prime Photography. Yeah, I think I recognize a few Instagram names here as well. Yeah. So I actually have just bought some inline skates. My kids and my wife do it, and every time they went, I was just missing out. I was like, well, I guess I'll do some editing then. And so I was sick of missing out, so I bought some. But the thing is that it's all the gear, no idea, because I didn't just want to buy a really crap pair, so I bought a really good pair of inline skates, and I just don't know how to use them. But I do my best. I'm all right. I ice skate once a year, and I ski a little bit. So some of that transfers into inline skates a little. But I'm all right. We're lucky. We've got a good near us at the university, which is where I've done a few of my videos lately. There's a shared track for cyclists and skaters and all that, and it's just smooth tarmac. It's beautiful for learning on. So Brandon, actually, rollerblades are a brand name. So rollerblade is one specific brand, but everyone calls them rollerblades. They're actually called inline skates, which is the generic term for all inline, skates that aren't roller skates. So yeah, they still make them, and I've got a great pair that will just never get pushed to their limits. But might be because
there we go.
I think the sound. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
No, oh, hang on. I'm gone.
You know what? You can go. I was just doing a good job filling in there.
Sorry, Chris.
Apparently now I'm muted.
There
I'm
we
muted
go.
on the stream. Apparently.
What? Oh no.
How are you? One second.
Wait. No, unless that was just when you. I think I was muted when you went off. Can everybody hear me now? Okay.
There we go.
If you guys. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Sorry, mate. It's what it was the phone. I don't know if you've seen this, but StreamYard have allowed you to start streaming from your phone. And our normal setup has become quite technical with a computer and we use a phone as a webcam. We're using a separate microphone, and it was getting a little bit complicated and a big setup. It took a while to set up. And I got an email from StreamYard yesterday saying we can now do this on the phone from the actual streaming. So
well, that's really good. That's really good to know, because I'd like to use my phone, because I mean I've got a MacBook Pro here, but it's only a 720p camera. My actual Samsung phone has a better camera, so I prefer to stream off my phone. So that's good to know if StreamYard have gone mobile.
Yeah, and this is the front-facing camera on the phone as well, so it's quite a good picture. It's better than the webcams, definitely.
Yeah. You guys are looking hot as usual. The hottest couple in Fragcom.
Oh,
sorry.
Stop it! Oh, stop it!
Stop it! Carry on.
So it's only because Smelly and Smurfy aren't together anymore. You would have been second, but since they're not an item, you guys are first.
Close second, I hope.
Oh, there's nothing in it. Nothing in it.
How's your week been then, Chris? How are you?
I'm great, mate. Yeah, it's been as usual. It's been a busy week. I keep giving myself challenges that take a lot of my time up, but it's been good. It's enjoyable challenges and an enjoyable busyness. So yeah, it's been. You know what? It's been very productive. It's been a busy week, but very productive. So that makes me happy. It's always nice to get to the weekend when you know you've got some nice productivity under your belt during the week.
Yes, definitely. I've not been very productive at all today. No. Normally, Sundays is meal prepping and then my week's worth of images. But I've not done either. I think it's just life just sometimes takes away, and like it just goes and you think, oh my goodness, I've not done anything.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that you do your whole Instagram week on one day. That's a good idea, that.
Yeah, because I suppose because I am at work all week, I struggle, but I take all the images and then just edit one each evening. So I'm not kind of taking my time away from obviously mother duties. So
you can do your editing when you're watching TV or whatever, listening to live streams, that kind of thing.
Yeah, but I've not done that today.
No, I was meant to film some more today, and I've done no filming today. I try and do my filming on my days off, but I need to do something at a weekend if I am off, because the Tuesday rolls around so quickly. I'm not off on Tuesdays at the moment, which I was. It used to be a 2-minute Tuesday because I didn't work Tuesdays. At the moment, I've got Thursdays and Fridays off, so it's going to have to be a 2-minute Thursday, I think, so I can get the filming and stuff done in one day.
Why not make it a 3-minute Thursday, just so we've just got that rhyming a little bit better?
Yeah, let's do that. 3-minute Thursday it will be this week then.
Tantalising Thursdays.
Will be.
Oh!
It's got to be a th. It has to be a th. Thrilling Thursdays with Tony.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thrilling 3-minute Thursdays.
I'm going to nick it.
Yeah.
It's been stolen. I haven't got copyright on that, not yet. So, thanks for coming on, Chris. I really do appreciate it. It's very nice of you to agree to do this. We spoke a couple of weeks ago when we were leading up to my 1,000. I said, would you come on and do my 1,000 live? And here you are. We couldn't do one last weekend.
We thought we would time it so that I'd be on just as you hit, but you actually got a nice little surge over that finish line, didn't you? So here we are. You're well over 1,000 now. So anyway, massive congratulations. I know I've congratulated you, but that is an achievement, mate. You know, I remember when I started out, I read a statistic that said most people who start YouTube will quit between starting and before they get to 1,000. Once you get to 1,000, it validates you. To audiences, but also makes you feel like you've got people out there that enjoy watching you. You've got a fan base. You're interesting enough. So 1,000 is a massive milestone to reach. It's really very significant in terms of YouTube. So well done.
Thank you, mate. It feels quite significant actually. The first milestone, which was really tough, was the 100. because you don't know anybody. I didn't. When I started this, I knew 0 people. Even on Instagram, when I started posting those first bottles of those fragrances, I knew no one. I commented on the odd video before I set on the Instagram page. That was it. I think I added you and a couple of others that I was watching at the time, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to start my own Instagram page. And then from there, it went on. So I've got a question from this, Chris, which I'll lead straight into. Then I want to go back to the giveaway that I'm going to be doing from today's live.
Sure. I hope I win it.
There is a qualification you need to do. So it's got. So your channel started how long ago? How long ago did you start yours?
November 2017.
Okay, so we're looking at what, 2.5 years roughly?
Yeah, about 2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously we've had the story about when why you started, how you started, etc., which is lovely. But how long did it take you to tell your family?
When did he come out?
You mean before I came out?
He knows what's coming. He knows what's coming.
Okay.
He has.
So I think I've been secretly editing my videos up here. We've got 3 floors on our house, and this is the top floor. It doubles. It is my cinema room, but it's also my YouTube studio now. I've got a little room with a computer for the editing. So I was sneaking up here for about 2 months before I told my wife. And I was increasingly spending more and more time as I was gaining a following. I thought I was putting out more videos. And I thought, I'm going to have to tell her what's going on here, because for hours each day, she was just losing me. And I thought, she's going to be wondering what's going on here. So I remember I was sat at the computer, I was sat editing, and she came up here and I said, you know what? I think it was maybe around the time I'd reached 100 subs, maybe more. And I said, look, I need to tell you something here. I've started a YouTube channel. She was like, she doesn't really watch YouTube channels. She didn't really understand the concept. I said, you know, it's something that I'm really enjoying, and I'm gaining a few subscribers, and it seems to be going in the right direction. Who knows? Maybe one day I can combine the enjoyment of creating content and fragrances with earning a bit of money. Who doesn't want to try to monetize their passions in life? If you can make money off the things you enjoy, that's the ideal, right? That's the holy grail. And I think she was kind of thinking, all right, I'll just leave him to it. But this YouTube lark is a little bit of a, she didn't really understand it. So and then kind of fast forward a couple of years, and it's suddenly become a lot more serious. But yeah, I think it took about a couple of months to answer your question. How about you, Tony? How long did it take you?
It took me
to come out.
So Becca knew from the start. I had to really come clean, because I'd started buying quite a few fragrances, and she kept saying to me, "You don't need any more fragrances," and I'm just like, "I sort of do." And why? Well, I've set up an Instagram page, and I'm running out of things to take photos of. I need some more fragrances. It's not.
I think the whole thing. I think my facial expression was this. What? What's the idea?
Yeah.
What? You're pissing around with fragrances? What? You're supposed to be a man.
Where's my man gone? Go back to boxing. Yeah. So no, I started with the Instagram, and I needed things to photograph, and then from there, I had the idea that I'd love to start my own channel once I'd learned a bit, and I'd watched a lot of videos by then, and I thought, you know what, I think I could do this. So I gave Becca the idea and just left it with her. She didn't really respond too much. Actually, I think because I planted the seed, she came back to me and said, because I said to her, I'd like to do something different. I'd maybe like to do it with Phoebe and involve her, because she was watching so much YouTube, and she was coming out of expressions and American expressions and stuff.
Oh, she watches some absolute tut on YouTube.
Like she'll say candy, or she'll say gas station, she'll say American expressions. So I was like, planted the seed, and then Becca actually eventually came back to me and said, well, if you're going to do it, why don't you involve Phoebe and get going? So my first couple of videos were with Phoebe, and then from there I got a bit of a pass with the fragrances. We don't eat into our money together or our bills or anything, so it's quite good. I'm quite sensible when it comes to it. I don't, although it might seem like I get lots in, I don't ever spend too much money. So it's not become.
Yeah, you're not buying shares. You're not buying shares in Galan just yet.
Not just yet.
We're not Barry.
We can't compete. Cannot compete, Chris. Although I do love the cellophane opening. I love that sound. So, so yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm getting onto something here because I'm waffling.
You are waffling. He loves to waffle, Chris.
I had a phone conversation with you very early on, Chris, when I got a gift from somebody, and I asked if I could phone you and talk about it. And in that phone conversation, I mentioned that I hadn't come out to any of my mates at work or my family or anybody. And you told me the story that you just told me. And then fast forward a few months, I then turn around and email you, and I'll let you tell the story from here.
So Tony messaged, he slid into my DMs on Insta, and he was like, Chris, I've just come out. And I was like, what? Because I wasn't remembering this prior conversation, and I wasn't associating coming out with, you know, letting people knowing you were doing YouTube. And I was like, Tony's gay. What? I was like, he's like, I've not told anyone yet. I said, have you told your wife? He said, oh yeah, Bex knows, but I've not told anyone at work. No one at work knows. I was like, oh, Tony, well, and he was like, I think he was saying, I'm going to tell them on Monday. I was like, well, good for you, you know. You should just go on, girl. Be proud of who you are. Come on, pride. And then this went on for a while, for a few messages, and I just got then a gap, and then Tony messaged back saying, do you think I was saying I was gay? I was like, what?
I know.
No, well, I mean, it was blatantly obvious that I did, so I had to say, yeah, I thought you were telling me you were gay, Tony. I thought you were coming out to me as one of the first people, and I was like, what is going on? Why is Tony coming out to me before most of the people in his life? Obviously, that wasn't the case. He was coming out as a YouTuber. And then yeah, we've had a few awkward conversations, haven't we, Tony, where we've kind of, that's what happens when you're texting.
Yeah.
You get the wrong end of the stick sometimes, because so much is lost in body language and intonation when you're talking. So, but it has led to some funny situations.
It has.
Do you know what? I remember that conversation because we were
laughing.
Yeah, we were stood in the kitchen whilst you were emailing Chris, and I turned around to him and said, "Babe, I think he thinks you're gay." He's like, "No." I was like, "Yeah, I think you need to like just clarify. You don't actually, you're not actually gay." That's when you obviously emailed. And you were just like, I don't know yet.
It's not your fault, Tony. I'm a little slow on the uptake sometimes.
No, fine. So I thought it was a funny story anyway. You told it on the Saint Geeks as well, which I thought was hilarious. Yeah. I just want to go back just quickly to the giveaway if possible. And I'm going to stick to this. And I wanted to make it a worldwide giveaway, but because of the UK postage abroad, I wanted to find a way in which I could do that everybody could partake in. And what I've decided to do is actually give a monetary giveaway instead of a fragrance giveaway. And that will allow you to go and buy yourself something special to anybody in the chat. And I've put a monetary value on it. And what I want to do, ideally, I can put it straight in your bank account, but I'd also like, I could probably just give it to you on PayPal, for example, and you can use that funds and go on and buy anything from anywhere. Probably you can use PayPal. So the amount is going to be, it's not a huge amount, but I've decided to put up £50 to people in the chat. And all I'd like you to do, so I can go into the chat when it goes live, when my chat goes live after the video ends, which will be in about 12 hours or so, I can go back and tally up who wanted to partake in the giveaway. And don't be embarrassed to partake, and don't be embarrassed of who you are, whether you're a reviewer or not. I'd like you all to partake because I'd like someone to be able to go and treat themselves to something. So the giveaway is £50, like I've just said, and I would like you to put a thumbs up emoji. And if you can't do that, what letter should we pick, Chris?
I think we should pick.
Some people are using a laptop and you can't put a thumbs up emoji on that. So what?
I think we should do. I think we should do F.
F. Okay.
Yeah.
F for fragmental. F for fragdicted.
Perfect. So a capital F in the comments or a thumbs up in the comments. Just single, no other letters or anything. And so I know that you want to partake. I'll go back through the chat later. I'll get all the names and I'll do a very, very quick live video in a few days' time once I've tallied it up with a random generator on my phone, and I'll show people who the winner is. So I'll do it in a fair way. So that is the giveaway. So I know it's not nothing special, but it will allow anyone worldwide to take part.
Okay. Tony, you depositing 50 quid in someone's bank account is massively special. I think that's really cool of you. So good for you for doing that. That's just the kind of guy you are.
Well, I do want. I've got a lot of really supportive people in the chat, and I do genuinely think it's nice to be generous and just give something back to people and say thank you for watching us, because we do appreciate it. We're blown away by the support we've got. Actually, we sometimes we don't get emotional, but we're a bit blown away, aren't we? Yeah. A bit choked by it. We find it a bit unusual still.
You guys are doing something great here, because I know we've got a very small niche, but you as a couple are doing these live streams nearly every week. No one else is doing that. So I think that's great. I think that's why you're getting a good following and people are tuning in. It's nice. It's as though people are tuning into something they would watch on TV or Netflix, but it's live, and we have a nice little community here. And the fact that you guys are here every week taking up your time to let the community come together should be commended. So because it takes time, but I know, and you know, it takes a lot of time. So thank you for doing this for us all.
No, thanks for your support as well, Chris. I do appreciate it. We had a conversation, didn't we, about this, like our support. That I obviously said thank you for obviously showing me support, and you came along. I think we were talking about the 1,000 subscribers, and you've got a little bit of an ethos with following people. Now, you might not want to talk about this, and if you don't, that's fine. But I actually thought there was something really good about that. And you talked about work ethic, and you talked about almost like a qualification of when you would support or follow people. And you touched on it earlier. Are you happy to talk about that or not?
So when I will follow people on Instagram specifically, or YouTube, or
YouTube,
yeah,
or YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
That conversation?
So a lot of the time people will message and will tag me into things, and this is not just me. I guess this is a lot of people, and will tag you into something to try and get your attention, or will specifically say, can we, if I follow you, will you follow me, or can you give me a shout out? And I'm more than happy to give people a shout out, but the people that I will help and promote are the people that don't ask, and the people that are genuinely putting the passion and the work in. So if I see someone is really willing to put the work in, and I know what it takes hours and hours, day in, day out. And if I see someone else doing that, I'm going to get behind them, like I did with Steve and like I've done with you. You guys never asked me for a single thing, but I really value your work ethic, so I can support anyone who does that. But people who direct message me to ask me to support them in that way by giving them a shout out, I'm kind of like, that's just cutting corners, and that's the lazy way of doing it. No one ever did that for me, and I never asked anybody to do that for me. I just did it all off my own back. And if anyone helped and supported me, which people did, it was never through me asking. It was always because I was engaging and I was putting the work in. And I think that's the way it has to work. A lot of accounts, particularly on Instagram, get set up and they're tagging everyone in everything, and those accounts quite quickly fizzle out, because they're trying to get somewhere without putting the work in. They're not prepared to put the work in. But if you want to get anywhere on social media, you have to be prepared to take up hours and hours of your week to be able to gain some traction.
Yeah. And it's I sort of got that immediately, because I know how much work I have put in, and from not knowing anybody. And one thing you did say is asking people for things. I think when you maybe become a bit more established and you know people more, you're, I think, a bit more prepared to help each other out. But it's not. I'm quite happy. I do this thing with FragFan Wednesday. I'm quite happy to promote new pages and stuff. So I do that. I'm quite happy to repost, and I do a lot with. It's called. I use a hashtag called Fragdicted shares, where I repost photos of people that I like the photos of. Those people haven't gone into my inbox and gone, "Would you repost this photo?" And I'd quite happily do that, but without people asking, if that makes sense. So it's. But if someone really wanted my help, they would ask for it, and I would filter through what I would want to help with. So, but no, I really like that question. I wanted to bring that up because I think you get a lot of people probably ask you, and I don't think that's fair. You're busy, and I think you will follow. I think it took me quite a few thousand followers for you to actually, not in Instagram, to probably notice what I was doing, and then I think I did a video and you noticed from that, and then it just goes on from there. So, but no,
well, there are no shortcuts in life, and I didn't take any. So I think that's the way it should work. I think people should have the reward of getting to where they get to through hard work and graft.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Well, have you noticed in the chat? Chad's in the chat. He's put, "Excuse me, I thought I was supposed to be the mystery guest." So, there we go. Yeah. But no, thank you. We'll start. Are you happy to start with some questions now, then, Chris? Are we done now? We start with our normal.
You mean
questions?
I've got to answer questions? This wasn't in the contract. Okay, yeah.
And
so let's do some questions.
Somebody has got involved in the questions.
Yeah, we have a little someone in the house. Yeah. I wanted to write you questions.
She has done your would you rathers. So these are nothing to do with me this week. So they are all from an 8-year-old's little mind. So, you know, some of them, you'll probably be like, what? But
I love it. Bring it on. Yeah, speaking of little people, they're out at the moment, but you might get a couple of little people running in to say hello any moment. So apologies if that happens. Yeah.
No, that's fine. That's awesome. It just adds to it, Chris. And we're family people, so we'd like to do that. Actually, one of the things that would be good to do, wouldn't it be? We'll say this live on now. You don't have to do this at some point.
Hang on, no. If you're going to ask one of my questions, someone don't be jumping the gun.
Fine, we'll leave it. Right, Chris. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Oh.
You know what? Pineapple does belong on pizza. I can eat it, but it's not my preference. I would go pepperoni over pineapple.
What about both? That's my go-to winning formula. Is both pineapple and pepperoni.
Okay, it's not my number one choice, but I can quite happily eat it. No problem.
Right, excellent. Okay, so
sitting on the fence.
Right, so
you've lost your place now.
Yeah, I have, because I asked a couple of questions earlier. So right, so I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna be a nasty thief, and I'm gonna steal all your fragrances, Chris. All of them are gone. But I'm a thoughtful thief, because I'm going to say to you, you can keep 3 different fragrances. I'll tell you mine. I've written mine down. What 3 fragrances would you keep from your whole collection?
Good question.
Well, the first one's easy. Enigma, definitely. I would have to keep that. I think I would keep something that would. I'd choose one that would be versatile for everything. So I'd probably go with Chanel Allure Sport Extreme.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think I would go for a nice freshie, a nice aquatic freshie. So I would maybe go for what's a good freshie that I have? Just off the top of my head, something like, probably Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue or Intense, something that I can wear in the heat. So, but then there's crossover, because I feel like you can wear that all through the year for all occasions. Enigma covers the autumn and the winter and the formal and the special occasions, and it's my favorite. And Chanel Allure Sport covers everything. So I think I'd be good to go with those 3.
Good.
That's a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a good question. Yeah.
That's a good question.
My 3 I've kept. I think you could probably guess maybe 1 or 2. What would you say my one would be?
Oh, I can guess one.
Gosh, a Prada?
No, actually, no. I've not gone. I'll leave. I've not really gone for any iris-based fragrances, which is a massive surprise.
Oh, okay.
Even though it's my favourite note, I've gone for these.
Can I guess one? Let me guess one.
You can guess one. Go on then.
Does it come from my American BFF?
Yes.
Yes. So he has gone for Sahara.
Yes.
Yes.
But a bit like you, Chris.
Oh.
So instead of the Chanel Allure on Sport, I think that could do everything.
Yeah, totally.
Everything. And then I've
Very
gone
versatile.
I've gone for the Chronic, which is very obvious, I think, to most that know me by now. And actually, I've just seen John write the third one in the answers.
Oh, yeah.
So that fits quite obvious for me as well.
Oh, it's Miyake.
Yeah.
Well,
so I think those
Tony, you're leaning more on the niche side of things there. I knew, you know, you're coming out as a niche snob, I'm sure.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's Steve, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although he will say it's me, I'll fire it back at him. It's him. Both dabbling in the niche.
That's where all paths lead to niche.
Yeah. So another question I've got is, when did companies start getting in touch with you? At what sort of following on your YouTube page? Did companies start getting in contact with you and say, hey, would you review my product? Can you remember the numbers?
I think it was maybe around a couple of thousand, I think.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah, or somewhere between, on YouTube, or somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000. Because I think these companies want to try to get you when you look like you've got a trajectory that you're going somewhere, but you've not yet got to a place where you might become a bit picky about who you might want to work with. So at that stage, the first people who come along are usually the ones you go, okay, thanks, you want me? All right, I'll let's do it. So I think, yeah, between 1 and 2,000, and then I think between there and where I am now, there's like exponential growth, I think. So, you know, you get to 5,000 and you start getting a few more, and you get to 10,000, and then it just grows and grows. So you're probably at a stage now where you're going to be, between now and the next few months, you're going to be having a few companies contact you, because, you know, I think companies love the smaller accounts. Not when I mean small, I'm talking about big, you know, still quite big for the fragrance community, but around 1,000, 2,000 in the grand scheme of things is still small enough for people to be working off their own collections and to be really giving. I think there's a view out there that once people get to a certain level, that you know, they start asking to be paid, and then, you know, that is the honesty still there. Whereas I think when you're a little bit smaller, when you're between kind of 1 and 5,000, I think people, certainly viewers, view you as someone whose opinion they will trust more. So I think companies appreciate that as well. I think companies will come to you at that stage because you're kind of a micro influencer, but still a very important tool for companies, especially smaller niche brands.
Yeah.
George mentioned this on my live when we asked him some questions. He felt that the fragrance community on YouTube would change the way in which people buy fragrances. Now, I see the first of that yesterday and the day before when we went into Peterborough to do some shopping. I went 2 days when I went once with Phoebe and then I went with Becca yesterday. And we went into Boots. I went into Boots on both occasions, and you just couldn't smell anything. There was no one. There was no one anywhere near the fragrances either. The cabinets are all locked, and I just wonder how they're going to actually sell the fragrances without the companies giving out samples, and it's going to be much harder to get in stores and smell unless you're going into a perfumery house, and then obviously that's what they do and specialise in. So they're going to have to find a way to do this properly. but the high street is going to struggle a little bit, I think. With
I think
fragrance.
it is for a while. You got to be looking to strategies like Gallivant employ and offer their discovery kit, and then take what you've spent on the discovery kit off a purchase of a bottle. I think that because someone gets the enjoyment of discovering a new line of fragrances, and if they choose one, then they get the benefit of not buying a bottle for full price. So I think maybe, perhaps not the designers, but I think a lot of niche companies maybe will start doing that a little bit more, at least until we get fully back to normal.
I think it will also affect new releases, because surely you wouldn't want to release a new fragrance in this time, because how can you build a hype when nobody can physically go and smell it?
Well, you build the hype, I think, through TV advertising and through Instagram and YouTube and stuff, don't you? I think that's
and niche aren't going to do TV advertising, so they're looking to the fragrance community to us to smell it and offer it as a recommendation if we like it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, great answer, Chris, on those. It's brilliant. I've got a few more questions actually. So, how did the idea of the scent gig start? So, I'm not asking whether it was your Steve, but was there something that sort of cemented the idea with that? You don't have to say whether it was your Steve, but
so Steve and I were chatting quite a lot, and he came up to York a couple of times, as you know, and we did some videos. And so we would message a lot through the week about things that were going on in Fragcom. Have you seen Jeremy's latest video? What about this new fragrance release? And we'd both found some obscure Spanish website that we might have ordered from, and then we'd both have them at the same time, and we'd share our. So I said to Steve, "What about doing a podcast? Maybe once a month or once every couple of weeks." And he said, "Yeah, I quite like that idea." And then we kind of, if we forgot about the idea and we didn't execute anything, and it must have been maybe even going up to a year later, Steve messaged me and said, "Look, I'm thinking of I'd still love to do a podcast because I love podcasts. And if you're still up for it, because you suggested it, I would love to do it with you if you want to." And at that point, it was fortuitous because I was just leaving my job at the gym. So I thought, well, I'm going to just have a little bit more time. So maybe I will have time, because it was a time thing that we didn't do it earlier. So I said, yeah, let's do it. And so really, I think I planted the seed, but it took Steve to really harvest the seed, to use a cliche analogy. But it was 50-50. I think it was natural and organic, and it came a bit from me and it came a bit from Steve, and I think that reflects the show as well. I think it's just a nice, natural, organic kind of just bit of banter, a bit of chit chat about something we both love.
Yeah, I really, as you know, I do enjoy the show. I think it gives you that little bit of a fix, and you can't always watch YouTube. You sometimes, I'm on the move a lot, I'm in the car a lot, working all the time. There is occasions where I do get a sneaky headphone in, and that I don't listen to a lot of music anymore because of podcasts. So I was massively getting into podcasts, and then you bring the podcast out, which just added to my listen time, especially working the nights that you knew I was doing. I was able to get the headphones in and just bang through the podcast, and really look forward to the Monday morning one. I really do. Well, for me, it's Sunday night, as you know. It's I'm sort of waiting. I'll tell you how I time it. Nick does a live usually on a Sunday night, and he's got one tonight, Talk and Review. So I usually have that in my pocket with my headphone in, dying to comment and take the mick out of people, but I can't. And then straight after that, I know that goes away, and I know that your one's usually dropped in there, so I get to listen to that straight after. So no, it's really good. I think, have you got any long-term plans for it? Any ideas with it, or how you can develop it, or?
Well, we just going with it. I'm sure ideas will naturally come to us about new segments that we can do over time. I think we'll probably keep evolving the structure of it. But for the moment, and I think hopefully this is the appeal for people, is that on a Sunday night, Steve and I just connect and just share our thoughts in our week of fragrance and our lives together. And I don't think Steve's in the chat here, but hopefully he'll watch it back. But since we've been doing the podcast, because I've been chatting to Steve for an hour and a half every Sunday now, so we've become good friends through doing the podcast. So not only is there people out there that are downloading it, there are Steve and I have developed our friendship through it as well, and I think we'll continue. Maybe maybe we can monetize it a little bit. Maybe we can just get a sponsor, so it becomes something that that we're passionate about, but we're kind of getting paid for our time doing it as well, if you know what I mean. It's never going to make us mega bucks, but if it could just if we could get it to the point where maybe we can team up with ideally a sponsor that would be useful for the listeners as well. So perhaps like an online retailer of fragrances where we can offer an exclusive discount, and maybe we can do some reviews on fragrances that they carry. So that might be the next way we look to develop it. So that it constantly keeps the listener engaged, as well as helping Steve and I out.
I think also John's just made the best comment. What happens when you're both on holiday, Chris?
Well, we have mobile setups, so we won't be needing any substitute. Well, you know what? There's going to come a time when one of us can't do it because we're either on holiday or one of us is ill maybe, or has other commitments. So we would definitely go to Smelly and Smurfy as our first choice of substitutes. But if they weren't available, then there's always the Fragrance Apprentice.
No, second best, third best. I'm deeply hurt.
I don't know really. I think we'll either skip a week, or we will either we will. But you know what? I've not thought of that. I've only ever thought that one of us wouldn't be able to do it, so it would be one of Steve or I with another guest presenter. But if there's a week where neither of us can do it, rather than not having a show, I think that's a great idea. I think maybe Fragdicted could stand in for us. And Fragdicted Snaps.
Yeah, whatever. I don't want to do it anyway.
I was referring to both of you.
Thank you.
But yeah, hey, it's a good idea. Right. I like it.
Thanks, John. Yeah,
thanks, John.
Yeah. Right, so we have a FragCon meeting planned. We don't, but go with it, Chris. We're imagining this.
Okay. It sounds like the start of a scenario.
It does. It does, yeah. In what city and country would you choose for the get-together for all your favourite people?
Oh.
Don't say York.
What city? What city and what country?
You can fly anywhere in the world. Cost is no. I'm not paying, by the way, but cost is no. Don't worry about the cost. Where will we go?
Oh.
Okay. All right. Well, for a frag meetup, do we want to be doing any kind of frag related sniffing, or is it just for party time? That's the first thing.
Party time, and definitely party time, but maybe with a few fragrance related stuff in there. I think it's got to be fragrance related a little bit, but mainly party time.
All right. Well, if I've got the opportunity to get on a beach somewhere, I'm going to take that. And we want to go somewhere where we can party. The only place I can think off the top of my head that is great for partying and also has a fragrance option is Marbella in Spain. There's a niche fragrance shop there that I remember speaking to the owners of when I was in Milan at Essence. So I think we could go to the shop, we could get our sniff on, yeah, and then in Marbella there's bars, there's beaches. I think that would be a good. It's not, flights aren't too expensive. We could get over there. We're not talking silly distances. So I think a lot of people could do that. If being abroad would cut most people out or cut some people out, then I would be very happy with London. I think if we could get more people by having it in London, we've obviously got so many places we can go sniffing, so many bars, so many restaurants. I think London's would be a good hub for it. Although, you know, if people were willing to travel to York, that would save me some transport expense.
I think London's a great idea. I think you know Nick quite well. I think he'd be more than happy to lay something on as well. So we've almost got somewhere set up, ready to go as well, which would be great.
Well, you know, Steve and I would like to do a live Scent Geeks as well somewhere. So I think London would be a place we'd you know, look at options. I know Nick said that we could use his place if we wanted to ever do that, and make a little bit of an evening out of it, a function, and then turn, you know, get dancing later. So I think that's something we'd like to do. So maybe next year we'll think about getting the Scent Geeks live.
Excellent. We look forward to that. Do you have? So no, I've got a question for you. Where's the furthest you've travelled in your camper van?
Oh, have you got a camper van?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. The furthest. I think it's. I'm just thinking if we've been up to Scotland, but I don't think we've taken it up to the Highlands. So I think it's going to be right down Cornwall. That's the furthest. We haven't taken it abroad. We haven't been abroad in it yet. We'd love to. Yeah, we'd like to. Yeah. We've got the family have got a place in France, in Morzine in the Alps, a chalet. So I think 1 year, instead of just flying out, I think it'd be nice to drive our camper van out to France. Who's called Dave, by the way. Our camper van's called Dave. So I think a road trip abroad, because in France there's so many places you can just stop, free kind of camping areas. You can just stop at the side of the road, like rest stop type places. So I think France would be a great place to take it. But at the moment, I think the furthest is Cornwall. But Cornwall is one of the coolest places to take a camper van, because it's almost like the spiritual home of camper vans, with the surfer attitude down there, and people just strap the surfboards to camper vans, and it's very much ingrained in the surfer beach culture. So when you're down in Cornwall in a camper van, every other vehicle is another camper van, and everyone, I don't know if you know this, but when you're driving a camper, you beep or you wave at all the other campers. So it's just Cornwall, you're constantly waving and beeping. It's great fun. Yeah, it's good.
Excellent. With your channel, you've had different goals along the way, obviously. Do you have any sort of end game goals that you think would be, that's where you're happy? In terms of targets or aspirations?
It changes, doesn't it? You know, when you start, you can't wait to hit 100, and then your goal becomes 1,000, and then your goal becomes 10,000, and then it becomes 100,000. And when you see that you can grow from 0 to 30,000, suddenly that 100,000 seems, you know, a little more attainable. So. I think secretly I would love to get to that 100K at some point, and maybe that would be the time I would. It might take me long enough to get there. That might be the time I go, all right, enough's enough. I think I've given what I can do to the fragrance community, and but if I'm still enjoying it, I will carry on. I never want it to become a chore. But I think maybe in the next 3-4 years, if I keep going, if I keep working hard, I could get to 100K. And for the achievement of that number of 100K, I think that would be pretty significant. Obviously, beyond that, you're looking at 1 million. But I know Jeremy's broken through that, but I think we're such a small niche. I don't think many people are going to get anywhere close to Jeremy. And Jeremy's got his style and his way of doing things that is unique, and that's why he's broken out of the niche. We've got some visitors. All right.
Hey.
Oh,
they've just come in. Do you want to come and say hello to everybody? All right. So we've got Lily and Evie, the stars of today's show. There we go.
Hello.
They've just been. Oh, and this is Tony's. This is Tony's daughter. This is Phoebe. Phoebe, how old are you?
8.
8. So Lily is 8 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't hear you because I'm listening to you through my my earphone. But they'll hear you. If you want to say hi, they can hear you. If you want to say hello, do you want to say hello?
Hello.
So, do you want to
All
ask
right.
Chris your question? Yeah, come and sit here then. So, these are
Yes.
Phoebe's would you rather questions.
I can't.
Okay, can you sit on my lap then? Okay,
Ow.
Oh, sorry about this
Ow.
table shaking. Apologies.
right, are you ready?
Mhm.
So,
I'm
what
ready.
are you going to ask Chris?
Would you rather sleep with a bear or a snake?
Oh, a bear? Bears are way cuddlier than snakes. Yeah.
Let's make sure he's in the good
Snakes would.
mood.
I think
Yeah.
snakes would wriggle around too much. Just going to shut the door.
This is true. Okay, second question.
Would you eat a bowl of cockroaches or eat worms?
Ooh.
I think I would. You know what? I would go with worms and just mix them with some tomato sauce and just try and convince myself it was spaghetti bolognese.
Would you rather be smart or incredibly rich?
Well, I would like to be smart, because if you're incredibly rich, you could still be the president of a country and still be a bit of a dumbass. So I think I would be smart, and hopefully, if I was smart enough, I would be able to use my brain to get rich anyway.
Would you rather speak to animals or speak all languages?
So this is a no-brainer, Phoebe, because I don't think animals would have that much to say that was very interesting. I think they'd just want to say things like, I need the toilet, or can I have some food? Whereas if I could speak all languages in the world, you could open up the whole world. Just think of the possibilities if you could speak all languages. I think that would be way more useful. I think animals do a good job of talking with their faces and with their sounds. So I think it would definitely be speak all languages.
Good one.
Would you rather have flying power or breathing underwater?
Flying. You know, when I was about your age, all I wanted to be was Superman. And I remember my mum had a problem with me not really wanting to eat my vegetables. And she used to say to me, if you eat your vegetables, you'll be able to fly like Superman. And it never happened. I never learned how to fly, but I started eating my vegetables, and I love my vegetables now. So it would definitely be flying powers, because then I could go anywhere in the world.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather be invisible or a wizard?
Well, if I was a wizard, I think I could cast a spell to make myself invisible. So I would also have lots of other capabilities if I was a wizard. So I would definitely be a wizard, and I would definitely have to have a really long white beard and a really big pointy hat.
Would you rather be a unicorn or a mermaid?
A mermaid or a merman?
No, could be a
Because
mermaid.
if we're talking sex changes here, then right. Well, Phoebe, that is such a good question. Mermaid or a unicorn? I'm gonna go unicorn. Yeah, because unicorns can fly, can't they? Yeah, I think so. I like the flying thing, so I'd go with unicorn.
Would you rather smell like fox poo or a rubbish bin?
Fox poo or rubbish bin? Well, okay. I'm going with fox poo, because I love foxes, And you know what? Behind my house right here, we have a big school field, and it's got trees all around it. And since lockdown, we've had the privilege of watching a family of foxes. So there's there's the mum, and there's about 9 little fox cubs. And every evening, about 7, 8 o'clock, they all come out into the corner of the field, and we watch them playing around, jumping on each other. It's amazing. It's like we're live on a wildlife documentary. So I've always loved foxes, and I think their poo probably smells really good.
Would you rather have a dog or a cat?
It's a dog. Growing up, I've had both, and cats kind of look down on you a little bit and just see you as the human who's going to feed them. And then once you've fed them, they'll just go off and do their own thing. Whereas dogs need you. Dogs love to curl up with you. I know cats do as well, but dogs do more so. Dogs are a better friend to a human than a cat, I think. So I would go dog.
Same.
Yeah, and we have a dog called Bertie as well. So.
Oh, there we go.
Would you rather do TikTok all day or work all day?
TikTok all day, definitely. TikTok's about making videos, isn't it? I'd rather make videos than do any other kind of work, for sure. TikTok all the way.
You can make fragrance videos.
He does though.
I know, but on TikTok.
Oh, on TikTok. Yeah.
Exactly. I could do fragrance videos on TikTok. Perfect.
There we go. You've got some. So she's got some. So they're her would you rather questions. She's actually got just a couple of silly questions that she wanted to ask you. So the first one is,
if you were a sandwich, what would you be?
Okay. If I was a sandwich, I would be a steak and cheese sandwich with some mayonnaise on it.
I would be a cheese and onion crisp sandwich with mayonnaise.
I can't believe I didn't choose that. That is way the better choice. I just wasn't thinking crisps at all. Damn, you've trumped me on that. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm gonna eat your sandwich. I think I like the sound of that. It's better than mine.
crisp sandwich.
Which Disney princess are you and why?
Well, I would Disney princesses. I think I'd be Princess Jasmine from Aladdin, because then I would have access to a flying carpet, and you know, the world's your oyster once you've got a flying carpet in your life.
This is true. What Disney princess would you be?
I would either be Cinderella or Belle.
Oh.
Is that because they're the beautiful ones?
Okay.
No, but...
There we go.
But if you're
what about
Belle,
this
that
one?
means you've got to kiss a beast. Do you really want to kiss a
So
beast?
she kisses a beast every night, does he?
Well, that's it. And he'll never turn into a handsome prince, will he?
Never gonna happen.
What about this one then?
Which Disney prince would you be and why?
Disney prince. Okay. So Phoebe, help me out. Name a few Disney princes for me, because I've not watched my Disney films that recently. So give me a few Disney princes.
You got Flynn Rider from Tangled, who doesn't really obey by the rules, does he?
I won't be him.
You've got
The Beast.
Yes.
yeah. You've also got
Shrek.
Sleeping Beauty.
Shrek's not Disney. He's DreamWorks.
You've got what about Cinderella? What's his name? He lives in a big castle.
Prince Charming.
Prince Charming.
Prince Charming. I like the sound of Prince Charming. What about in A Little Mermaid? Is he a prince? What's he called? Eric.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it Eric?
I think
yeah,
he.
I think so.
I think I like that guy. I think I'd choose to be Eric because I love the ocean. I love swimming in the sea. So I think I'd be Eric from Little Mermaid.
There we go.
I would be the guy from Frozen. I think he's just cool. Kristoff, he's understated, isn't he? He's confident,
But
understated, nice guy.
Is he the prince?
Kooky.
The prince in Frozen is the naughty one, isn't he? Like Kristoff's not the prince.
Yeah, because the prince in the
Who's
first
got
one
the yoke?
Was that guy who was
Kristoff.
evil?
Yeah, and he wasn't in the second one, was he?
We sort of is a prince because he sort of wants to marry the thing in the second one.
Yeah, but
he?
he's not with the queen.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Foul.
I don't like the second one because I don't really like the noise.
Oh, don't you? You don't like that music? Okay.
Oh. Are they all your questions?
I like both.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. So what you say bye-bye?
So bye everyone.
Phoebe,
Thanks for
I've
joining us.
got a question for you before you go.
Oh,
all right.
There you go.
First of all, do you have a favorite fragrance?
Yeah.
What is it?
Pineapple Sauvage.
Good choice. And what's the best fragrance that your dad wears?
I don't know.
What one do you like that Mummy wears?
Just say Issey-Miyake.
Oh yeah. Blue eyes.
Card red, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, card red.
So Chris, if anyone sprays on any interpretation, I've got a good sized decant of Baccarat Rouge 540 anywhere in the house, she instantly recognises it. Do you like the bubblegum ice cream? You like?
Not really.
No. Oh, Chris, what I'm going to do after watching your video, I'm going to get the raspberry and vanilla one out and see if she enjoys that, because your girls seem to really enjoy it. So I've seen there was a big dent in the bottle. There was a huge dent in that bottle.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, what's happening there?
I only noticed it the other day. I was like, that is going down rapidly. So I needed to rescue that so I can smell it myself and wear it myself. Yeah, they love it.
So I've just got a couple of non-freight. Oh, she's gone. Did you hear that?
Sorry,
Okay.
So
she's not a teenager and she's slamming doors.
Literally, and then stomping upstairs. So non-frag related questions, really.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Phoebe's got one last question, and then I think we sort of go to the public. But the fans, babe. Is that what you call
No, I
them?
didn't say fans. I said the general public.
So they're sort of like gym questions, fitness questions, because that is probably my main hobby, is fitness and getting back on track. So my first question was, when did you really get into your training, and what was the motive behind your gym? Was it just you got into it because you worked in a gym, or were you into it before you worked into a gym in a gym? So
specifically training in a gym, I was about I think I was about 16, and there were two things actually. The first one was I was at college. I was at sixth form college at my high school, and one of my friends there was a bodybuilder, and I didn't know anyone as young as that could be a bodybuilder. I think maybe he was 17 at the time, and he had this incredible physique, and I just thought, what do you have to do? I mean, you see pictures of people, but then when we used to go to the swimming classes, and you actually see someone that is your age looking in that kind of shape, and I just thought that takes some discipline. And I never wanted to be a bodybuilder, but I just thought I want to really I want to get a bit bigger, as most kind of lads do at that age. And so around the same time, I actually broke my ankle, or someone broke it for me in a football match at school. I broke my ankle in 2 places, so I was out of action for a couple of months. And I remember when they took the plaster off my left leg was this very white, skinny, awful-looking leg because all the muscle had wasted away. And I just remember looking at that leg, going, "Can't have that. We've got to do something about that." So I started going to the gym primarily to build up the leg that had wasted away, and then I never stopped going from that point. When I was about 16, I never stopped going to the gym, and as I got older, it became partly about wanting to look good, but partly you start thinking about doing it for health and fitness reasons rather than just aesthetic reasons. And I remember, so I trained for years, and then I started working in a gym in 2008. I trained up as a personal trainer. So I worked in a gym for 10 years. So I expanded my knowledge, my fitness knowledge, by getting that qualification. And yeah, just continue to train. You know, working out will always be a part of my life. If I've not worked out, I'm not happy. So to maintain happiness, I need to work out and stay fit. Otherwise, I'll just get this guilt thing that I'll become this fat blob. And you know, I've also come to realize that it's about energy levels. The fitter you are, the more productive you are, the happier you are. You get the endorphin fix in your brain. You get the mental, you're appeased mentally because you know you've done something good for your body, and physically, because of the chemicals, you are more productive and in a better mood. So if it makes life better, it's good to be fit.
How many times a week do you train? Do you allow yourself a rest day? I do 5 days, and then just have Saturday and Sunday off, because it does become, it can go the other way, can't it? It can make you feel a little bit rougher than what it should do. If you're training too hard and then not giving yourself that rest, you then begin to have the headaches, the sleeplessness, and start to feel a little bit drained. So how many days do you train a week?
So I'm the same as you. I do 5 times a week, Monday to Friday, and I've always given myself the weekends off. And you're absolutely right. You can overtrain. And having worked as a personal trainer, you get people who want to start coming to a gym, and you ask them how many times a week they want to train, and they'll say 7 times a week. I can just do it every day. And then you have to say, look, I know you want to make a good go of this, but your rest is as important. Your recovery is as important as your training. And if you train too hard, you're going to release chemicals that are counterproductive to your fitness. So they are actually going to encourage your body to store more fat. So if you overtrain, you can actually put on weight. So you've got to be balanced and disciplined enough to have a good routine, have set things that you do on set days, so that you know by the end of the week, Monday to Friday, you've trained every part of your body that you know you need to, and then you can guilt-free enjoy a lovely rest over the weekend. It might be midweek. Some people might choose to have that rest midweek, or some people might choose to train a day on, train a day off. But the recovery and the rest is as important as the training itself. So you do have to factor that into it.
Do you, because obviously there's a lot of sort of misguided information on the internet, including surrounding supplements and, you know, your BCAAs, your protein shakes. Do you use any supplements, and do you recommend people to use them, or is it just a complete money-making thing and your body doesn't actually need them?
So the main thing in terms of supplements is getting enough protein in to support the synthesis that your muscles go through to repair after your workout. So if you smash a workout and you don't get the right amount of protein in that day, then your muscles will not gain the benefit. So you won't see that, you won't get the lean muscle, and you won't get the growth, which in turn leads to fat burning. So muscle growth leads to fat burning. So I always will say to people, I do use protein powder, protein shakes, and I have protein bars. I will always say to people, get it in naturally if you can, but we all have busy lives, and it's not always convenient to get your protein in naturally through a meal. So always get protein in breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and your evening meal. So try and have something protein based. I always try and have an omelette every morning for breakfast. But you then will not be getting enough protein through those 3 meals to support your training. So that's where I will then have a protein shake. So it's just a powder mixed with water and a protein bar. And these protein shakes are carefully engineered to not have too much sugar, and to have the right balance of the nutritionals, basically, to have the right amount of carbs, to have the right amount of protein. So you don't want to rely on supplements, because that's not what they are. They are there to supplement your diet, which is the best way you can get your natural protein. But just to give you that little bit of a extra injection of protein that you might otherwise find difficult to get in, then personally I then have the protein shakes after a workout, and then I'll have a protein bar maybe in the afternoon in between lunch and evening meal. If people can get it all in naturally through their food, I would say that is the best option. But if you can't, I think supplementing is absolutely fine, and it can actually help you really get to your goals.
Yeah. So the very last question is, I mean, it is linked with YouTube. Do you think that social media can not damage, but maybe change people's perception of how they see themselves, how conscious or non-conscious they are about how they look? Do you think the social media size can be damaging to people's appearance? Have you seen a lot of people take their appearance to the level of, oh, that's not normal, or you shouldn't be doing it because of how other people see you, you should be doing it for yourself? I think social media these days can be quite damaging on especially the younger generation.
It can be, yeah. I don't know that personally I've witnessed anybody changing things dramatically based on social media. But if you are going to go onto social media, whether it's Instagram or YouTube, you have to first be very aware that you're putting yourself on the world stage. You're going to be in the public eye. And the sad fact is that we've all come to realize this is the only downside for social media for me, is that there are some horrible negative people out there, and they will whether there is something to criticize or not, they will do it for whatever their issues or their reasons might be. So if someone isn't aware of that, and someone isn't resilient to that, then it could be damaging, and it could lead people to question their appearance. It could lead to eating disorders, that kind of thing. I guess, that social media probably has made that happen. I think it's inevitable. For me personally, I experienced all that way before YouTube, when I started acting on TV. And I remember reading horrible stuff about myself on Coronation Street, and I had to stop reading it, because you have to realize that you're never ever going to please everybody. There is always someone out there that doesn't vibe with you or your personality. You can think you're the most affable and easy to get along with person in the world, and inoffensive person in the world, but no, that is not the case, because someone out there will find something that they don't like about you. That is an unfortunate byproduct of going onto social media. So I just think I would warn anybody that is thinking about doing it to bear that in mind, and to be first, before you start putting yourself out there to other people, try and be comfortable and happy in yourself. But it's a double-edged sword, really, because a lot of people go onto social media for validation. They go onto it for the wrong reasons. They go onto it because they need people to interact with, and they may get that, and that may help them, but at some point they're going to be interacting with people that may be negative towards them. So I think it absolutely, to answer your question, Bex, it can be very damaging, and I think it's something that there needs to be awareness of. Actually, I think this whole thing, you know, YouTube is cool. I tell people that I do YouTube, kids think I'm cool. When have I been cool with the kids? But as a YouTuber, you know, they think it's great. But with any kind of, I'm not saying that YouTube has made me famous, but with any kind of fame or anything that puts you in the public eye, you are going to be at the scrutiny of the world. So you have to be ready for that. But it is damaging. I would like to think that most of us can look beyond that and just see those negative people as an annoying fly that buzzes around and you swat it away and then it's gone. But I guess some people out there maybe can't do that.
Yeah.
There we go. I think our questions are over. Just what's your sentiment of the day, Chris? We haven't asked that.
I've got it here ready. So I've gone for, I don't know if you've heard of Amarud. This is an amazing sandalwood. Yeah, this is an amazing sandalwood fragrance called Santal des Indies. This I love this brand. They make great quality stuff, and as far as niche goes, it's not too expensive. So as you might get from the name, this is a beautiful sandalwood fragrance, but it's got some added oomph and complexity. There's some leather in here, and there's some absinthe in here as well. So it's a beautiful. If you want a sandalwood that has a little bit of attitude and complexity, then this is a good one. How about you? What are you guys wearing? I think you would like it. I don't think it's too challenging, Bex, at all. It doesn't smell of camels.
Oh, okay. Camels bums.
Yeah, definitely doesn't smell of camels bums. No.
Mine's what everybody was talking about yesterday. So
London.
I just thought it was quite fitting. So yeah, that's mine.
That's good.
And mine,
I really like the
freshie.
cucumber vibe in there, London.
Yeah, it's
Cucumber and
different
rose.
to everything that I've owned, isn't it?
It is very different to anything you've owned. Yeah,
I think you're quite surprised.
I was very surprised when she picked that. I said, "What one would you own?" And I thought, "I'll buy it for her instead of me." And hoping she would say LA or Istanbul, but she went with London. And I like it. I really like it, but it suits you more. Suits you a lot more. Yeah. And you really enjoy it. And it's completely different to anything else that she owned, which I like. I like that. And my scent of the day is nothing special, Chris, but I've gone with a freshie. Versace Mano Fresh.
Versace Mano Fresh.
I've worn that.
Great.
Performance isn't great, which I think I probably knew that anyway. I can still smell little whiffs of it, but I did spray quite a bit of it on my clothes and stuff. I think the key to the performance there is to spray it on clothes and
spray it on clothes. Yeah, I do actually get quite poor performance off that one as well, Tony. I love the smell, so I think on hot days when it's going to last a little bit longer and you get it on your clothes, it's just about acceptable. But it is a nice, easy to wear fresh fragrance.
So that was my scent of the day. Right, has anyone in the comments got any questions at all? Actually, I've got one more, then we'll go to the people. I'm looking at the time, Chris, and I know that you've got your scent geeks to record. So we are mindful of that, so we won't keep you too much longer. But if you could own every bottle from one brand, who would you pick? Now, I've got a brand pre-written down on my pad here, and I want to see if I can guess the brand that you would pick. Every bottle from one brand, who would it be?
Okay. Designer or niche?
Let's go niche. Not going to lead you at all.
I think it would be niche anyway. I'm just looking around at stuff just to. That's a really tough choice. I mean, my instinct is to say Roger, because it just covers all bases and there's some amazing compositions. I think I would be very happy owning every Roger Parfums fragrance. I would, but designer or luxury designer, I would love to own all the Tom Ford private blend as well. I think there's some beauties in there.
Yeah. Shall I show you
what did you have written down? Yeah.
Hold on. Let's go this way a little bit. Can you see it?
Oh, other way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Roger Dove. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's got such a huge
I
range.
think part
as well,
of the
isn't it?
appeal for Roger Parfums, yeah, they've got a huge range. They cover everything, and it's a luxury item. They're really well blended. I think the quality of Roger fragrances is fantastic. So, yeah, good to have them. Good to have all of those.
Good stuff. Well, we're going to go. If anyone wants to write any questions, well, I'm sure Chris doesn't mind answering a few questions from the general public.
Sure.
We've got. Let's see. I did see a couple of questions, Chris. So let me just get to that.
Hang on. Lizzie's got one.
Okay.
Which video are you most proud of?
That's a good question. So I think I'm going to give you two here because one of them was a collaboration. So I'll do one that was a collaboration and one that was my own. So the collaboration was the one I did with George, which was the Neanderthal light and dark video. We put so much planning and effort into that. It was like planning an actual film rather than a fragrance video because we had multiple locations and we had very atmospheric, grand cinematic visions for it, which we somehow managed to implement and execute and pull off. And that really established my really good friendship with George as well. So I'm immensely proud of what we did with both of those videos. I think that was something that was very, very different. In terms of one that I've made on my own, well, I think I get better every time. So I think my feeling of being proud increases as I make more videos. But I really, oh God, that's a really difficult question. And the most recent ones are in your mind as well. I'm very proud in terms of me doing something different of that clone one that I did the other week. I just thought, thanks.
I had no influence on it, but I was proud of that. Obviously, I was proud of it because it's something that I felt that there's certain things that you do in your videos, and from an editing point of view, I'm looking at it and thinking, how does he do that? That is very good. So I'm not asking to steal your tricks of the trade, but I do need to have a sit down with you at some point and like you give me some tips of where I could go, almost like a little coach. Not to do the same things that you do, but Tony, I see you doing this or I'm doing that, and I could sit down with you for a little while and do that, and I'd really enjoy it. So at some point,
yeah, I'm happy to, mate. I think I enjoy bringing a little bit of the vlog style. I watch a lot of vlog videos on YouTube, so I like bringing that into my videos. And I've got with the last few that I've done, I've started to think, well, why not just have an intro and outro of vlog with the meat of the fragrance stuff in the middle. Because I watch, I'm a big fan of mountain biking, and I watch mountain bike channel, and I love the vlogging talking stuff at the beginning and the end as much as I do the actual point of view footage of the biking. So that's something that I'm thinking a little bit more about doing with my channel, is incorporating this vlog style, not with every video because it takes a lot more work. But I have really enjoyed that. So the one that I did the other week where I was going around on my bike, I was really proud of that one as well. That's a tough question to say which is the one I'm the most proud of. I've got to, I think probably the first one I did with my kids, I would say, is the one I'm most proud of, because it was just so nice to bring them into something that I was doing, and since that day they've always been connected and they've always understood what it is I come up here for hours on end to do on my own. So I think that the one Girls Rate Popular Fragrances, I think it's called, you can find that now. I made that private a while back when all the stuff about kids on YouTube was kicking off, but you can watch that one again now.
I've got a couple of really good questions in here. Brandon's put, did you have a moment when you felt like quitting YouTube, and how did you get past it?
I don't think I ever thought of quitting. I think I probably thought, how can I improve? Yeah, I think I was very lucky that because I came in on the perfume parlor angle, I gained a following quite quickly. So I think I remember getting to 1,000 subs in just over a month, and so I had a nice momentum right from the get-go. So I honestly never thought of quitting and not doing it. So sorry, I can't give you any more of an answer on that, Brandon, but it's a good question.
It is a good question. We've got, Chris, if you're okay, we've got about 10 minutes. Usually we get to roughly 2 hours, and that's too long.
Yeah, sure.
So
yeah.
we've got, is it okay for another 10 minutes to just get through these questions, or as many as we can?
Sure.
Don't forget if Phoebe wants to ask one last question.
Phoebe's got one last question at the end. So Nick Talking Reviews asked, did you find that people outside of YouTube find it strange when using the word fragrance instead of aftershave?
Yeah. In England, people use the word aftershave, but you don't want to call it that because that's not what it is, and that's a bit old school. But also, you don't want to say cologne because that sounds quite American, and you don't want to say perfume because that sounds very feminine. So yeah, I think people did find the word fragrance a little strange, but I think I would have felt even stranger saying aftershave because it just wouldn't have been right. But I know what he means. Yeah, it's usually guys say aftershave and girls say perfume, so fragrance is kind of like a generic in the middle. Good question though. Yeah, I don't think I ever had anyone say I've never heard it referred to as fragrance before. I think people just get it, so I've never had any strange reactions.
I think it's if you said perfume rather than no aftershave. In the UK, we use aftershave, don't we? It's been ingrained in that it's known as aftershave. If you put in aftershave,
but Tony, it's our job to get the word out there that's not what we call it anymore.
No, exactly. Spreading the word. Right, we've got one from Paul Edmonds, who's put, how long in advance do you plan your videos, and where's the strangest place an idea came to you?
Well, most of my ideas usually come when I'm in the shower. I just feel always relaxed in the shower, so I think my ideas often come to me there. But it's not a particularly strange place. I don't know where strange. I've probably, ideas can pop into your head at any time. You can be at a wedding or a christening, and suddenly this idea pops into your head. I can't specifically remember if there was one strange place. So sometimes an idea will be slow burn that I'll be thinking about it for a few weeks, and I'll have a germ of an idea, but I have to try and live with it for a little while before I can work it out and develop how I can bring that to the screen. And some I will literally have when I'm having my morning shower, and I'll go out and shoot that, and then by the end of the day I've edited and uploaded a video. I love that video in a day concept. I've done that a couple of times. I did that with the April Fool's one, where I went out and pretended I was asking people questions on the street during lockdown, and you didn't see them. It was just me doing different voices. I had that idea in the shower in the morning. I was like, I'll go out and shoot that, but I need to get it uploaded today because it was April the 1st. So I went out and I had the idea and I shot it and I uploaded it within the day. So it can go from being as quick a turnaround as that, or it being a few weeks to think of an idea. I have a slow burn one that's been going on for over a year now, which hasn't come to fruition, but hopefully it will at some point. So it totally changes.
Stuff. I think Nigel's got a couple more. Nigel's put one in there. Is Chris still interested in his acting career?
Yeah, 100%. I still have an agent, and I still go to some auditions. So yeah, I actually was in you won't have seen it, but I was in a commercial for the new Adidas Predator boot that Pogba was in. If you see that advert on YouTube or TV, there's a referee in there that looks very much like me. But I'm kind of in the final edit of the advert. I'm just blurred out of focus in the background. When we shot it, the idea I had close-ups, and it was a day's shoot, so that's currently out there. But yeah, acting is a massive passion of mine. I love it. and I think I will always take up the opportunity to act if it's given to me.
Excellent. Right, we've got someone waiting in the wings to ask you another question, I believe. So,
Are you ready? I don't think you're ready for this one. This is just, yeah, one of those questions you're going to think, oh no. Come on. Come on.
Okay.
Wait, Chris has got to go.
You say it.
Oh, so she wants to know, right, so her question here, I wrote it down for her. Would you learn a TikTok dance with Phoebe now?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, you're on TikTok. Well, I'm going to come out of the way because there is no way I'm TikToking right now. So,
Right.
Yes, you are.
So if you want to bring your daughters in, she said that's absolutely fine, but she wants to do a group TikTok.
A group TikTok, okay. That would maybe involve me going downstairs for a minute to go and get them. Do you want me
That's
to?
fine.
Shall I
She's
do
got to
that,
get
or
her-
should we?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right.
She's got to get her music ready.
All right, give me a sec.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Hello, everybody. So when Chris goes, I think we're going to call it a day. We like to leave it around the 2-hour mark maximum. But thank
Let me
you
just
so
move.
much for everybody for joining,
just
as
pause.
always.
Oh dear.
David, how does Chris feel like that gender fragrances should work with Chris? David, I'll try and get it answered. Bear with me.
Right, have you got your TikTok sorted?
Get the video you want on there, ready?
Oh.
Okay, just do one.
Just
Right.
do one.
Do the
Please.
Phoebe.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
So it's guys, it's just me because they're watching a movie. They're on their tablets watching a movie, so it's just me.
Oh, look at you, Chris.
I know. So I need to stand up for this.
Of course.
Okay, do you want me to press play?
No.
Right, you ready?
Oh, you got no. Okay, right. So you've got to teach Chris what you've got to do then.
What moves have you got to do
So
first?
first you've got to do
Yes.
Yeah.
and then
And then it's the same
Yeah.
on the other side, isn't it?
yeah, so with a different hand.
So that's your yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we go. Yeah, show me that little wiggle again. Okay.
And then it's two
Yeah.
hands, isn't it? Right.
That's it.
Yes.
Right. So that's the dance, Chris. When you put it in the music, it will make sense. Right.
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 What do I press play on? Which one is it?
That one.
That one.
I'll try and
We've
follow
all got to
Phoebe.
do it then.
Do you want Phoebe to do it first? Let's do-
Yeah, go on. Yeah, I'll
Let's
watch
do- let's
Phoebe do it through. Yeah.
Right, ready? Right, you ready?
Oh, I
again?
see.
Ready? You can
Okay.
put that ready.
All right.
You got that?
Let's do it.
Right, I'm gonna
Ready.
turn it up a bit. Right.
Oh.
Hey!
Oh,
Okay.
that's
So this week on the fragrance jerks.
TikTok in.
You're going to be on there, Chris.
I know.
Oh, bless her. She was dying to do that one. She loves TikTok.
Thank-
Well, that was
TikTok
great.
at
I
8
loved it.
in the morning.
Thank you, Chris. You're a
Loved
good
it.
sport. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. My
Yeah.
pleasure.
So I think that's it, Chris. It's getting towards that 2-hour mark, but thank you so much, mate. I really do appreciate it. You've been a great guest. My episode 6, this is, so you're my 6th guest. We are hoping to. We've got lots of people in mind to interview and get on. So thanks for joining my lives as well. I really appreciate you getting involved. Thank you, mate.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for
Means a lot.
asking me to be on. It's a real pleasure to come on. You're gaining a great following, so to be asked to be a part of it means a lot to me. Thank you.
Oh, hang on. One last question.
Okay.
Fragdicted or Fragdicted snaps?
predicted snaps.
Yes. I don't think you've got one yet.
I know, she's more scary than me, and she's asking the questions, so you've been sort of almost been
Well,
bamboozled into taking that answer. It's not
I
right.
love my photography.
No, thank you again,
Yes,
Chris.
thank you very much.
Enjoy-
we really appreciate
Enjoy
it.
your recording of St. Geeks. I'll be listening later. And if anyone hasn't listened, I think you've been living under a rock. And what have you been doing? St. Geeks, you can listen to it on Spotify, Apple, ideally. And don't forget to leave a review on the Apple podcast if you can.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
5
you
stars
very much.
if possible.
5 stars. It has to be 5 stars, or don't leave it.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Thanks,
Chris.
guys. It's been a
You
pleasure. Thank you very much.
Take care.
See you
Enjoy
later.
what's little left of the weekend, mate. Enjoy.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care, mate. Bye. So
There we go.
Chris is gone. Thank you to Chris for joining the live. That was incredible.
Yeah, TikTok and everything. I mean, what more could you people want?
I can't believe that I gave it away at the beginning.
You're so rubbish.
It's just nightmare.
You're
And
just an idiot.
I just shouldn't mention it in future until it's time to bring someone on.
No. Well, you even said at the start,
I know.
I'm really rubbish at like letting it go, and then it just slips out.
I know. But no, thanks to everyone for joining. So there's some other people we haven't seen in there. We've got Jackie,
Yeah.
Sam joined later on. So thank you everybody for joining us. If I haven't answered any questions or anything, I apologise for that. Obviously, it's quite difficult
Stop
trying
waffling.
to entertain.
Just
I am
waffle.
waffling. Think you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see everybody again
Next week.
next Sunday for another live.
Yes.
We'll see you then with another guest.
And hopefully it won't give it away, but we can't promise them.
Oh, yes, yes. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.